right, today we're going to continue learning about equations. This time we're going to look specifically at equations that have the distributive property. So remember that when we learned about distributing, we learned about it two ways, with multiplication like you see in this example, and division like you see in this example. So let's start with multiplication. So we have this p out in front, and there will be more numbers in an actual equation that you're solving. This one is just all with variables to show you algebraically what to do. So you can either distribute that p value, or you can divide both sides of your equation by p. So just like when we learned the distributive property, we're going to show you both ways, the long way where you distribute and the shortcut where you divide, and you'll be able to decide which way you want to do it. Sometimes it's easier to do the long way, actually, just depending on the equation. So either way works and either way is acceptable, but I'm going to show you both. Okay, so we have this equation here. Negative 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. So let's distribute first, since I think that's what everyone's most familiar with. The shortcut would kind of be new. So we know that that negative 3 sitting outside parentheses means that I need to multiply negative 3 times each thing in parentheses. So I have a negative 3x, and then negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Now it's a two-step equation. Remember that we undo the constant term first, so I'll add 15 to both sides. 45 plus 15 is 60. And then finally I'll get rid of my coefficient by dividing both sides by negative 3. And so negative 3 goes into 60 negative 20 times. You can always check to make sure your answer is correct. But let's do it the shortcut way. See which way we like better for this problem. I'm just going to recopy it. And instead of distributing the 3, I'm going to divide this entire side of the equation by negative 3 and this side of the equation by negative 3. Over on the left, these cancel. And all I have left is x plus 5. On the left, 45 divided by negative 3 is negative 15, and then now we have a one-step equation. So I'm going to undo that constant, that adding 5, by subtracting 5 from both sides, and look at that, we got the same answer. So in this case, it looks like the shortcut really was a little bit shorter, but again, you can do it either way. All right, let's look at the next example. It involves distributing by division. So we'll go back up to the top here and see what our shortcut's going to be. We can either divide both of the terms by p, like we learned when we were just distributing with expressions, or the shortcut is to multiply both sides by p, because that's the opposite operation of division. All right, let's try both ways here. 4m minus 12 over 2 equals 7. If I'm distributing that 2, I'm dividing 4m by 2, negative 12 by 2, which is 4 divided by 2 is 2, negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Now I have a two-step equation, so I'll add 6 to undo my constant term first, and I'm going to need some more room. So I'm going to do 2m equals 13, because negative 6 plus 6 is 0, and 7 plus 6 is 13. The last step is to undo my coefficient by dividing both sides by 2. So I'm going to get 13 halves, or if you like, you can make it 6.5. Either one of these answers would be acceptable. So that's distributing. Now let's try it using the shortcut. So let me recopy it. I can multiply both sides of the equation by 2, and these will cancel. Now I just have 4m minus 12 equals 14. I'll undo my constant term first by adding 12. And then I'll divide by 4 to undo the coefficient. So I've got m equals 26 fourths, which simplifies to 13 halves, which is the same thing I got when I did it by distributing. So it's up to you which way you want to use, but both ways work. My last example has multiplication, distributing over multiplication, but there's a fraction out here, which always scares everybody. But never fear, let's do it both ways. We'll start by distributing that 3/4. So I'm going to have 3/4 times 12x and 3/4 times -8, because I need to multiply it by both things that are in the parentheses. 3/4 of 12 is just 9. You're going to get 36 over 4, right, which is 9. Over here, 3/4 times -8 is going to be -6, because it'll be -24 over 4, which is -6. Now it's a two-step equation, so we'll add 6 to both sides. And then divide by our coefficient to get x equals -2. Watch what happens when we use the shortcut. 3/4 times 12x minus 8 equals -24. We're going to divide both sides by 3/4, which is the same as multiplying by 4/3. Over here on the left, the reason we did it is because these cancel out and make a 1. So I'm left with just the 12x minus 8. Over here, I can do some cross-canceling here. 1, 8, so I'm going to get -32. Now I have a two-step equation. First, I'll undo the constant, adding 8 to both sides. -8 plus 8 is 0. And then -32 plus 8, I have 32 negatives and 8 positives. So the positive team is going to win by, the negative team is going to win by -24, right? 24 points, yeah. Then divide both sides by 12 to get rid of my coefficient. And guess what? I got the same answer of -2. Alrighty, thanks for watching.